Good morning, class, the receiving schools and teachers, school students, sorry.
Good morning, Mrs.
How are you all this morning?
We are very well, thank you, and how are you this morning?
Very well, just like you all, thank you. You may be seated. Now let's have a look quickly at this. Here's a question. We have 1, 2, and 3 questions. 1, 2, and 3 questions. I have 3 questions there. I'd like, Hayan, if you can read for us the first question.
What are natural resources?
What are natural resources? Second question, Doveri. Second question, if you can read it for us. While we are doing it, I'd like you to think of the answers to these questions. Doveri?
What are renewable resources?
Good. What are renewable resources? What are renewable resources? And we have Trisha, if you can read for us the last question.
What are non-renewable resources?
Good. What are non-renewable resources? Now, in the previous lesson, we have had a guest speaker. We had a team from the Environment and Conservation Department, and you have heard them making a mention, or they made mention of what natural resources are, renewable resources and non-renewable resources. I'd like someone to tell me what natural resources are. What are natural resources? Thank you. Quarry, natural resources.
Something can we use for our own benefits.
Okay, things that we use for our own benefits, things that are around us. Is that what Quarry said? Okay. Anybody else who's got Quarry says things that we use for our own benefits. Good. Let's have
Things are not made by men.
can you come on again? Things that are
Not made by men.
not man-made, okay? Things that are not man-made, not made by man. Good, we have another hand up there, so at least we have 3, okay? Let's have car out.
Things we need to use that have already been there.
Things that we need to
Use that already been there.
use that are already been there. Very good, okay? So far we have had 3 answers. So natural resources are things that are already there in the nature, made by nature. Things, for example, I have this and this, okay? This is nature, okay, natural. And this is man-made. And they are actually flowers, where one is nature, natural, and one is man-made. What do we say about that? Is this nature or man-made? Okay, they are both nature, from nature and man-made. This is one of the natural resources, a mangrove tree that has been recycled, made by man into a flower vase to put flower in. Okay, let's see the next question. What are renewable resources? Renewable resources. Okay, we have Adrian. Just say 1%.
Resources that are recyclable.
Resources that can be recycled. Good. Resources that can be recycled or regrown. Say, example like trees, okay? If trees are cut down, there should be new trees grown in place of those trees that are cut down. Flowers or plants we pull out, but there are some new ones that are growing. We can plant new ones. Now let's look at what non-renewable resources are. Non-renewable resources. Helen, if we can have you. Non-renewable resources.
Resources that are not recycled.
Okay, that cannot be recycled or that cannot be replanted. Can somebody give me an example of a non-renewable resources? Yes, Trisha?
Gold.
Gold. Minerals like gold, copper, and all that. Once we get them out of the ground, finish. We cannot plant gold again. No. Well, in the case of a tree, we can plant tree again. Okay? Thank you. Let's have a look at our strands. We have two strands. The first one, Justin, first one. The first strand, there are two strands that we will be looking at for the rest of this term.
Managing resources.
If you can go on to the second strand as well.
Community development.
Okay, so we have managing resources and community development. Now the pictures we have for each of those strands should help you to understand what each of those strands are actually about. How many substrands do we have altogether? How many substrands? Messi, how many substrands?
2.
Look carefully. Yes, we have you. How many substrands? There are two substrands. From the two substrands, we have
5.
we have 5 substrands. Okay, group 1, 2, and 3. I'd like you to read for us 1, 2, and 3 substrands. Together, group 1, 2, and 3. The first substrand.
Land and water.
Second.
Environment.
Third.
Forest and animal management.
Okay, the remaining groups are the next 2 substrands. And the second? Communication. Now, in those 2 strands and the 5 substrands, we also have 5 outcomes. There's 7.1.1, 7.1.2, 7.1.3, 7.3.1, and 7.3.2. Our topic, I'd like the class to read it for us. School environmental problems. School environmental problems. Now, can somebody give me an example of an environmental problem in our school? environmental problem in our school. An example of an environmental problem in our school. Okay, Francis? We'll just have one environmental problem in our school.
Muddy areas.
Muddy areas. Very good, muddy areas. Now sun is shining, so our school ground looks hard and looks nice, but when rain falls, we all start getting stuck in the mud. Thank you, Francis. Muddy areas. That is one of the school environmental problems, but there are others besides that. We have a look at what and how the school environmental problems are created. Okay, groups 1 and 2, read that for us, please. School environmental problems.
Direct or indirect results of human actions on the natural and man-made environment of the school that affects the school and the whole environment of the school.
Okay, so it says direct or indirect results of human actions on the natural and man-made environments. Okay, now man-made environment, an example, a flower garden. Okay, a flower garden, that garden is actually made by men, made by students of the school. And in that flower garden has things of nature like the flowers, and things that are not of nature could be stones put around the flower garden. Now our topic activity, group 7, our topic activity. Okay, so our topic activity is to assess and identify environmental problems and areas for improvement. Now let's have a look at the activity that we will be doing. And I'd like group 3, if you can read that, group 3. Okay, that is what you will be doing in your groups. And this is the checklist that you are going to use, you will be using. Now, to the receiving school teachers, if you can get that checklist done, or the reporter from your group can get that, from every group in your class, to get that survey checklist done for your students to use for their survey. I have a bigger one. Now I'd like one person from each group. Who should be the right person to get a checklist? The runner. Okay, if I can have the runners, please. Now you are all given 10 minutes. That's for your group. Hey, that's mine. Now, class, this is what you are going to do. Now, instead of all going together in a group to that certain part of the area or the type of environment for you to identify the problems, that takes time. So what you are going to do in your groups, the manager, you allocate areas, certain areas, to every individual group member. So that group member, you go to one part of the environment or area, identify the problems, and you can report back to your manager. Okay, so if I can have all of us to rise up and we can all move out to those areas. You have 1 to 6 areas. They are on your checklist. I'd like you to check that and move. Now don't forget, I'm giving you all 10 minutes because you are all going to be allocated areas to assess and identify the problems. Now listen, you have to move quickly because it's almost...
Excuse.
We'll take the checklist to the south.
Yeah, and then when your friends get what they come, when they come back, they will let you know, so you get it done. It's best you say. Yeah. But you can just go to just go to the ones that are close by.
Our been separated.
And even if it's a like this, weeds, grass growing, so there, for like the boundaries of the school ground, these problems, you've got your areas all done, thank you. Okay, I will be having the 3 groups to present yours, the others will be tomorrow. Okay, we should have all got or identified the problems in each of these 6 areas. And you should have now on that survey checklist the problems that you have identified. Now, I will have groups 1 and 2 to quickly report to us the problems they have identified in this. Okay, let me see. Group 1, problems, the areas 1 and 2. Group 2, areas 3 and 4. Group 3, areas 5 and 6. If you can give us the problems you have identified. Group 1 and 2, areas 1 and 2. Group 2, areas 3 and 4. Group 3, areas 5 and 6, please. Group 1. Okay, with group 1, this is the rubbish disposal area and the school office.
Rubbish disposal needs more drums to keep rubbish in because there's too much rubbish. School office, more flowers need to be planted because it's looking plain at the moment.
Very good, thank you. We have Group 2 with areas 3 and 4. Group 2, areas 3 and 4.
And the playground is rubbish everywhere. School toilets are tiles, broken pots, and graffiti.
Very good, thank you. Group 3, problems 5 and 6. Problems 5 and 6.
Our own classroom, there's mud around it. The boundaries of the school grounds, muddy and rubbish.
Okay, so our own classroom is, the backyard is muddy, and the boundaries of the school are bare, no flowers growing on it. Now, the rest of the groups 4, 5, 6, and 7, I will collect in your papers, have a look at it. But before I collect in your papers, I'd like to have group 4, if you can give us your problem that you have identified to the first one, that is the rubbish disposal area. Rubbish disposal area. Group 1, group 4. Your rubbish disposal area.
The rubbish is overflowing. The rubbish is overflowing in the rubbish bin.
Rubbish is overflowing in the rubbish bin. Group 5, the second, school office. Group 5, school office. You have the mic?
Drainage and grass growing.
Drainage and grass growing, that is a problem. Group 6, playground, please. Group 6, playground. And group 7, please, if you can get ready for school toilets. Yeah, yours is the playground.
Grass needs to be cut.
Grass needs to be cut, it's tall. The last group, yours is the school toilets, please.
For the school toilet, is graffitis on the walls need to be painted.
Okay, very good, thank you. Now you have homework to do. I'd like you class to quickly have that homework copied into your Making a Living exercise books. And the receiving schools, the students, you also copy your homework into your books as well. Copy that homework into your exercise books, the back of your exercise books. Now, if I can have group 6 to read for us our homework. Group 6, if you can read the homework for us. Now, it's identify the causes and effects. Causes and effects. Now, causes is how these problems you identify were created. Who created these problems? And effects, what will happen? What's going to happen with the problems that have been created? Okay? Now, some of our problems are not created by people, but they are natural problems. Now, before we go to our next lesson, when doing the survey and we've just gone through the problems that you have identified, we have found out that a lot of our problems in the environment that we have in our school is about tall grass, grass not cut, and especially beautification. Our school is very bad. There are no plants, no flowers growing around. So when we come to the causes and effects, that is where we will try to see what we can do to help to improve our school environment. Okay, our next lesson, William, if you can read it for us. Next lesson. Okay, thank you. Causes and effects of problems identified. You have done a survey. You identified some problems. Now you are going to look at in the next lesson how these problems are created and what effect it will have on those who live within this environment, which is the school environment. Now, I'd like someone to tell us what you think our key phrase is going to be. Our key phrase, I almost said Grace. Our key phrase. Yeah, you read that. What do you think our key phrase is going to be?
Environmental problems.
Environmental problems. Let's see. Good. Environmental problems, especially problems in our school. And with that, good morning, class, the receiving school students and teachers. Okay, thank you all. You may all sit down.